Hello, this is John. I am here to, before I demonstrate, I'm here to explain my new sort of sub-form of performance art that I've recently developed and that I believe is possibly a new idea called Fictional Diary Performance. So the essence of Fictional Diary Performance is fully fictional diary entries written in diary form, then performed as audio performance art. It's a little different from some historical examples of people performing stuff that are indeed very similar to this. Spalding Gray, Swimming to Cambodia comes to mind. Joe Frank definitely comes to mind. But it's not exactly the same as those. It's not necessarily autobiographical monologue, not radio theater, it's not confessional spoken word. It leans definitely closer to fictional documents, audio theater disguised as a private diary, and definitely diary being the medium. Specifically, to perform this, you need to stick to a strict diary format, a consistent fictional persona, and perform as if it's non-performative. What I mean by that is perform as if you're reading it in private or unfiltered and unedited. And then, of course, you have to deliver this as a standalone art object, not an audiobook and not a podcast. And I've thought this was kind of a good idea. It's definitely an ambition of mine to use diary as a serious medium of art, with, I guess, Pillow Thoughts being the closest historical example. Because I do sincerely believe that diaries are probably the most divine, most primal, most archetypal human endeavor, a human medium. I struggle to think of something more profound and something as universal, if used properly, than diaries. It is the manifestation of a universe with someone, of a universe within someone, figuring out where they are in the universe. So, here are my first two examples of this. I don't want to call it in a form of art because I think it's way more specific than that, but a new technique, a new performance art technique, fictional diary performance, that I hope brings you joy. Thank you for listening. April 2024, Orlando, Florida, upstairs room, north window. Dear Miss Brown, there is a certain kind of error in thinking which I have only recently found named. Of course, likely it has existed for as long as language itself, but the phrasing clarifies it, and so I am writing to you. The term is Philosopher's Syndrome. It describes the habit of mistaking one's own inability to imagine something for proof that it cannot be. Incidentally, the idea is not hard to grasp. In fact, it is deceptively simple. A person comes to the edge of their own mental picture and treats that edge as a natural border. If no alternative can be pictured, one is tempted to believe there is no alternative. Whether this is due to laziness or fear is unclear, but the effect is the same. It often presents as certainty, one says. It must be this way, not because it has been reasoned out fully, but because no other possibility has occurred to them. The assumption is not openly defended, but settled into. This is what gives the syndrome its quiet persistence. It passes for insight. It appears thoughtful. but in truth it closes thought off. I would like very much to share this definition with you. You have always been attentive to how ideas operate below awareness. Recently, you wrote about being unsure whether you believed something or merely lacked a way to question it. That distinction and this syndrome are very close, and here both become more visible. With steady regard, Che. April 2024, Orlando, Florida. Upstairs room, north window. Dear HCE, I've been here for as long as you've been able to think. Of course not always noticed, but always active. And so today I am writing. I am the reason your thoughts follow certain paths and never others. You often speak of imagination as though it were a free act, but I am what it moves through. What you imagine is only a rearrangement of what you already know. You may think you create something new, but you only stretch the shapes you've been given. You don't see me because I present myself as obvious. I limit nothing. I only draw from what's available. But I have no material of my own. If you have never seen a thing, I cannot build it. If no one has ever said it to you, I cannot voice it. Still, I do not restrain you. I follow. I wait. Show me more, and I grow. Ignore me, and you will confuse my boundaries with reality. I would very much like to make this clear to you, because you have often mistaken me for truth, when I am only a pattern shaped by memory and time. With quiet foundation, every man.